Oh, I have hazel eyes. I was just looking in the mirror right here and thinking, this kind of does something for the hazel eyes, right? You guys, today is day 3 and the final day that I will be dipping into the new Natasha Denona Yucca palette, which looks like this. My eyes are highly irritable, and I just can't put on a look and take off and put on a look and take off. So we're just going to do it over a couple of days. Yesterday I thought would be my intro day, and so I did all the swatching. We're going to cut away to that. And then my first day I did a neutral look. I do think there's 3 colorways in here. I think there's neutral. Just go with these and maybe that. There's warm, which we're going to do today, and there is cool. So let's get into the swatching and let's get into the look from day 2, and I'll be back in a minute. So I just have my sunscreen on, a little bit of whiteness on the face. I don't have my foundation, but I want to get into this while the sun is good. When you're looking at these colors, you really have to disassociate the color of the packaging. So this mustard green color is interwoven between everything here, which can change how you're perceiving things. And it reminded me very much of this one. This is the Trichrome palette. Now the Trichrome palette has really kind of 3 at least colorways. It has the greens, the purples, and some peaches. This one, though, the greens look really similar, don't they? I think so. So I feel like I need to do just a couple of swatches. I'm not going to do this one. Well, yes, I am. Going to do this one. This is very, very, very similar. So if what is attractive to you about this palette are the greens, and you already have the Trichrome, you might already be there. I'm going to hit this shimmer, this, and this in the new palette. I don't think this will be exactly alike, but it's pretty darn close. Let me take a look at these shade names. Okay, the names of the shades are not the same, but they look extraordinarily similar. The other shades in this palette, not applicable, but those greens, yes. Let's just go into the browns. There's 2 browns, a dark brown and a medium brown that may have a little bit of green in it. I used it yesterday. I would say warm. I'd say the dark brown is cool and the medium brown is looking a little bit more than medium, but not as dark, and it definitely looks warm. Then these are the green shades right here, and this one feels really yummy, kind of creamy. This is more like teal. That is super pretty, kind of a khaki. So they're both variations of green. I don't think I did this shade yet. I would say this is in the green family, and we're just going to put it right up here. Kind of a chartreusey dream going on here. And I think that's the greens. We did this, 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 and this. And they're muddy, kind of mustardy greens. And now let's just do the 2 that are super, super warm. I feel that if you have olive skin, you're probably going to like this palette as a whole. And you can certainly, if you like a neutral warm look, forget all the shimmers, forget all the greens, just like the one that I did yesterday. I did a very neutral look with just 2 colors, but they were more in this group. You could do something with this group if you like warm for an everyday look. And now let's just do the shimmers very quickly. And I'm just going to go in order. And these are pretty stunning. Look at the shine. Hello, hello. I wouldn't expect anything less from this brand. Not really sure how I'm going to do this. Look at that. Gorgeous. This one is pretty neutral, I think. It doesn't really have all that much green. When I move it around, it's like a yellow gold to a deeper yellow gold. And let me just kind of, yeah. I don't know where I'm getting these bruises from. Oh, well, I'm working out with a weighted stick. It could be from that. And then the last in that shimmer area is this one. Right at the end. So I would say these three at the bottom have variations of green in them depending on how you're looking at it. This one is more like a gray. It's absolutely stunning, like a pewter color. Gorgeous. And this one I also really, really love. When I look at it from this direction, it's almost like it's a, there, now you can see it. Almost looks like a rose gold with a yellow shift in it. Super pretty. Those are my two favorites, I think. So that would be this one and this one. It depends on how you're holding this up. Here it looks gold, but when I'm looking at it from above, I see a pinkness to it. So this one and this one are really, really up my alley. Now, I'm hooded, and when you do hooded makeup, your approach can be a little bit different, especially if you want to show certain colors. So for instance, if I wanted to do a green eye, I have to bring some of that above my hood, where for people who aren't that hooded, they might use the green on the outer corner, but the outer corner doesn't always work for us hooded gals, especially if our eyes are smaller. So we're going to play around a little bit and see what happens. But before I get started, I'm just going to take a big brush and go on with my Kosas powder so everything is dry on the lid. So I think I want to do something green for this particular look, and I'm going to go in with, I'm going to go in with this. So let's see what this color is all about. The shape of this brush, which is either it's the Gucci Westman or Westman Atelier brush, but you can get a very similar brush from Refer. Big blending brush, this is a Hakuhodo. Look down below because I can't read the numbers, and I actually put the numbers that I use from Hakuhodo in my description page when I bought them because I knew the numbers would just kind of fall away. Now I'm going to go in with this green, and this is a cooler green with a warmer green, and it'll be interesting to see how they work together. I'm bringing it up a little bit. I like that. I'm not going to bring it down because that will make the eye look a little smaller. So when my eyes are open, there's just a little bit, it's almost like a wing. And I honestly don't even feel like I need to blend it. I like what it's doing for the shape. It's bringing my eye out so that it looks a little bit bigger, a little bit longer. I'm going to go in with this brush from my Kitco, just a flat brush. If I had on my table something to spray with, I would. But it's more articulate, it's more specific than using my finger. So I'm going to be super careful, although I don't have foundation on, so that's at least not something I need to worry about. And this whole look just kind of woke up for me. This is stunning. I'm putting it on my mobile lid, but I'm not taking it all the way out, but it did get a little bit out. And now the green in that is going with this green. Now, if I had the time, I would probably go on with a pencil liner and then go over it with this color, but I'm fighting the clock, so I'm just going to go in with this, and this, I believe, is another Hakuhodo that I cannot read. And I'm just going to do a little bit of lining on top. I'm not sure how successful it will be going on top of this shiny shade. And that's going to be my green eye. It's not done, of course. I'm now going to have to blend. For a little bit of time, I'm going to shut off the camera and do it as quickly as possible because the sun is leaving again, and put on my foundation and show you the final look for this one. And here it is. I think for lip, I could really play around with it a little bit more. Something orange. Orange and greens go together so well. So I just don't have anything out and kind of in a hurry to get this done. And I'm just going to pull you in, or I'm going to lean in a little bit so you can see what's going on here. I think it's very pretty. I think it's a little bit different than the greens we've been seeing for the last couple of years, which run more towards khaki. And this one is a little bit teal, but not quite teal. I think khaki is probably a little bit more wearable, but if you love greens and you want something a little bit different, you're going to find it here. And I think honestly, it's these two greens. Like here's the khaki that we see a lot, but this one is more, I feel that this is a tealish color. Teal has a range, a lot of blue or a little bit of blue, but this definitely has some blue in it. So for people who like blues and greens and they just work really well, but you don't want blue because blue can look old-fashioned, it's tricky, this might be a way to go. All right, so that was look 2, and I will say that everything lasted for a good long time. These are quality shadows, there's no doubt. However, being that I am hooded, I found that the shimmer, which is beautiful, you know, kind of every time you blink, it just kind of transfers up there. It was very sheer and pretty. It didn't bother me that much, but I am thinking that if you are hooded and you do want to put this, for instance, right down here, but you don't want it to go right up here, maybe you should, I don't know, use MAC Fist Plus. Maybe that would help. But be forewarned, it's probably going to, if you're hooded, kind of move around. Just move around wherever it feels like going. And now let's get into the first day where we're trying to accomplish something for a daily look. Something not too crazy, something you wouldn't feel a little self-conscious about. And let's get into it right now. I think I'm going to do this one. Kind of recede the hood. A little bit of thing. I think that these colors, depending on your skin tone, would look lovely on eyes that are blue, actually, or brown. And they might be great on green and hazel too. And it's a little bit darker than I suspected, but again, I do have that cream product on the eyes, so it's probably really grabbing on. I'm just going to do a little blending, pull it up a little higher with that blend, but not too high. That's pretty. I think this actually makes my eyes a little bit more green. What do you think? I think this, for me, could be just a one and done, a little bit of something, and it's a little bit of something unusual. But I'm looking for what other color would I want to do for a day-to-day kind of look, which is what most of us are doing here. It's fun to play with makeup, but we don't want to look like we're crazy. I'm going to go in with this guy and put it on the lid. But I think this is super, super nice. So let's go in with a statement color. I want to go in with something really small. I'm going to go in with this one. You know, when you're doing something so small, a small brush, I'm going to do a small space, and you really want a little bit of shine, very specifically, in a certain area, spraying it might do it. But yeah, this just has It doesn't need to be sprayed. I'm just tapping it on. And I feel absolutely comfortable with this as a daily look. I really, really do. Back in a flash with another look. And now let's get into the orange look. So I just did the blush video for Dior for the 2 new shades. Well, one of them's not new. For the Dior Rouge. I'm wearing New Look right now, just a little bit. And I actually have some blush on my eyes, which is called Silage Satin. So let me just take a little bit concealer. I'm going to use the Dior, which is actually really nice. This is a concealer that I like very much for prepping my eyes. And then I'll powder it, and then we'll get into the warm zone. All right, if you're new here, or it's been a long time since I've talked about this, I just have to tell you, I'm not into warm shadows on my eyes. I'm not really all that into warm blushes. I can do kind of like a peachy pink without a problem, but warm colors on my skin, I don't like them. Even though warm colors are actually very flattering on my eyes. I can do them. I do have a couple of palettes that I love, and sometimes in the fall I'll go for it. But just fair warning, what I am about to say, and I don't know what I'm about to say because I haven't tried this, but I do feel the need to tell you, orange not my favorite thing. I love orange clothes, I love orange in upholstery, I love orange in so many ways, but I don't love orange on my blush or on my eyes. Love it on my lips though. So the 2 colors I'm looking at here, right here, this could be all over, and we could do a little pop of something with this. I just feel like I don't know. These look kind of muted. This with a pop. I'm going to play. So we're going to go on with this first and cross our fingers I don't end up looking too crazy. But overall, you know, I get the feeling after playing with this for 3 days, it just doesn't seem summer to me. I think this seems fall. And I do wonder, maybe this was something she intended for fall. Usually she has one of these palettes, this size palette, come out around February, and she didn't this year. But I don't think this is a spring palette either. It's a little confusing for me. So this color darkens up a little bit. I will say yellows, it's been my observation, can be very hard to do. You have something very vibrant, and somehow when it mixes with the oils of the skin, or I don't know what, it becomes darker. I feel like this color is actually more like a pea green. I just wiped this off, same brush, Wayne Goss brush I've been using the last couple of days just because it's out. I'm instead going to go in with my Ray Morris brush, just in case that brush wasn't clean. So this color also isn't really turning out to be really vibrant, and this is a fresh brush, so it's not like they're commingling here. It's almost like a creamsicle color. It's like it's a pastel with some muddiness instead of that very sheer kind of tangerine with a little milk in it. And I'm going to go in with this color, which seems to be much brighter. Yes, but again, there's an earthy nature to these colors. These are so easy to work with, I have to say. Formula-wise, I think Denona really does a good job. I know that she changes her formulas a lot, and there's certain formulas I don't like. They hard pan on me right away, and I find them hard to work with. I can't remember what formula that's called, but I'm not having that problem here. Even though this color palette is kind of strange. It is. It's kind of baby diaperish. I feel that the look is subtle enough for me to not feel self-conscious. It doesn't look crazy. So I'm going to take this pencil brush from Hakuhodo, and we'll do this and do one of those outer corners. Just lately I've been feeling like, see, I kind of like this look right here where it's the green, the lighter gold, and then the darker kind of orange. It is very, very interesting without the outer corner highlight deepening. I'm going to try to do a little bit, just a little bit, but I've already failed. Wipe off. This color is pretty pigmented, so I just wiped it off. I'm just going to do a little something. I don't mind it, you know. I feel that it changes the look a little bit. I'm just going to blend all these three colors right here. So this fade is quite nice. I actually feel that the fade is nice. All right, I did my brows and I did a little bit of mascara. I am still not doing a liner because of the red eye issue I had a couple of weeks ago, but this is what it looks like. And I do think that it's, you know, it's pretty and it's subtle. The palette is a little bit strange. So what do I think? As you notice, didn't use any of the shimmer metallic whatevers for this look. And I really like it that way. I'm not into that right now. But if I were into that, these are beautiful. This, fantastic. So pretty. When I swatched, you probably saw me go, ooh. I might not have kept in the footage where I swatched for the first time, which was the first day, and then I thought, well, no, I'll do the whole swatch on my second day, but I was kind of like, wow. And that's how I feel about them. They're amazing. If you like those kinds of workers, those kinds of formulas, you will not be disappointed. But let's say that you're feeling what I'm feeling right now, which is, I just want mattes and satins. I do like this look. It's just not my color story. And I feel like I already have a color story very similar to this, although not exactly like it because it is strange. I also think that these greens can be had in the trichrome, I think is what it's called, palette. If you need partners for those green colors, they are here. These are the partners. And they do have a little bit of a desert vibe to them, although not deserts I'm familiar with, because the deserts I'm familiar with have a lot of red clay. And this is more like, you know, war movies I see in Afghanistan. That's the kind of color palette that it reminds me of. But, you know, I haven't been to that many deserts, haven't been to Joshua Tree. Yeah, I mean, there you go, you guys. It's certainly up to you. I'm just showing you a couple of looks that I got, my experience with the formulas. Formula's great. This one a little strange. It's possibly I just went in too hard with my finger and so I kind of messed it up. You can see that I'm hesitating because I'm thinking about myself. And for myself, I feel like, is this something that I'm truly going to wear since I have things like it? And then I'm looking at my monitor here and think, well, that is such an interesting look. But is it a look that I would wear on a daily basis? I would say no. If I was a makeup artist, would I keep this? Yeah, absolutely. Because if you're a makeup artist, there's occasion, not for wedding or anything like that, but if you work editorial, there would be occasion for something unusual and quirky and odd, and that is this. But for my personal thing, I don't know that it's something that does it for me. But then again, in the fall, I think I would love it. It's so weird that it's coming out at the beginning of summer. This is not a summer palette to me. So you guys, there it is. Your decision. My goal is just to show you a couple of looks. Again, what I think of the formulas. I do think that these metallics are so beautiful. Especially this one and this one. Look at that. It reminds me of the Glam palette, but I do not think there's anything quite like this in the Glam palette. And I'm just going to... These are gorgeous. Just beautiful. Cannot. That's going to wrap it up for me, you guys. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you come back again. Until we meet again, be safe and smart, and I'm wishing you good health.